Hillary Clinton's massive flaws is her lack of transparency and her refusal to do press conferences and media appearances. Well, as a result, she decided that after the town hall, she would do a 15-minute long press conference on a tarmac in White Plains, New York. Now, during this 15-minute press conference, it's important to know that there was some manipulation going on behind the scenes of the media. There were certain things that individuals were not allowed to ask her, things like her email server or anything that makes her look bad. But nonetheless, it had been 278 days since the Democratic presidential nominee last held a formal press conference. So it's clear that she's not, very trusting of the media. So I want to show you guys one clip from this press conference, what she had to say, and we'll discuss.
Last night was yet another test, and Donald Trump failed yet again. He trash-talked American generals, saying they've been, quote, reduced to rubble. That's how he talks about distinguished men and women who have spent their lives serving our country, sacrificing for us. That's how he would act as commander-in-chief. He praised Russia's strongman, Vladimir Putin, even taking the astonishing step of suggesting that he prefers the Russian president to our American president. What would Ronald Reagan say about a Republican nominee who attacks America's generals and heaps praise on Russia's president? I think we know the answer. And when asked how he would stop the spread of global terrorism, Trump's answer was simply, take the oil. The United States of America does not invade other countries to plunder and pillage. We don't send our brave men and women around the world to steal oil, and that's not even getting into the absurdity of what it would involve. Now, one thing you didn't hear from Trump last night is any plan to take on ISIS, one of the biggest threats facing our country. He says his plan is still a secret, but the truth is he simply doesn't have one, and that's not only dangerous, it should be disqualifying.
Okay, so it's a perfectly good press conference.
No.
You don't think so?
No. It's a disastrous press conference.
Wow, we've got a lot of disagreement
yes,
today. All right.
Look, you're getting destroyed in the media because of your lack of transparency, and then you do a 15-minute long press conference on a tarmac where you let the reporters know that there are certain questions that are off limits. They're not allowed to ask her about her coughing fits, which, by the way, I kind of get that because that's a ridiculous conspiracy theory that probably annoys the hell out of her and annoys the hell out of me. But you tell them what they can and can't ask you. You start the press conference with a prepped, statement that lasted who knows how long, which cuts into that 15-minute long press conference. It was not a good press conference. She needs to be more transparent. And also, I don't know, this is my personal thing. I don't know if you agree with me. Watching that clip was really difficult because she doesn't come off as sincere, and it's difficult to pay attention and focus while she's talking.
So I think we do largely agree, it turns out. So I think the substance of the press conference was perfectly mediocre and bland. So that's the only part where we disagree. It's the same Hillary Clinton you always see. And if I'm the candidate, I'm going to take some of that time to make my statements about my opponent first. I've got a moment where everybody's watching. So those are small disagreements we have. But the overall part, it turns out we do agree on. So let me set up some context here. For a long time, Hillary Clinton was in hiding. And she was in a bunker somewhere full of rich people raising money. And I understand why. She's going to have a bigger war chest than Donald Trump, and she's about to hit him with a billion ads. I also, more importantly, understand that she was playing prevent defense. Now, normally prevent defenses, every sports fan knows, prevent victories. And it's usually a terrible idea to go on the defense and try to hold on to a lead. In this case, it was a little different because if the election is about Hillary Clinton, I think she loses because she's deeply unpopular. If the election is about Donald Trump, he loses because he's deeply unpopular. So I understood the logic of it, and in some ways I supported it. Now, at this point in the game, it has not worked. So it turns out, like every other prevent defense, all you did was blow your lead. So right now, the polls have all tightened, and now the Clinton camp's in a little bit of a panic, and they're finally putting her out to press conferences. Fair point that even that is not that transparent, and it's as manipulated as it could be.
Yes.
Okay, so then let's get to the core of our agreement. So they've got to do it a different way. This isn't working. So this whole idea of like, I'm going to be able to manipulate things and just run out the clock and nobody's going to notice. People notice you're fake. Everybody knows you're fake. Everybody knows it. And then a lot of the Clinton people get angry. They're like, yeah, but so are all the other politicians. Yeah, except the guy you're running against. I mean, the guy you're running against is a notorious liar and, in his own words, a dum-dum and a baby and a mess. But he does not come across as fake. And Rand Paul had a great line about this. I don't know why he only told me. He should have said it all over TV when he was running against Trump. But he said, Donald Trump is a truth teller without the truth. He seems like a truth teller because he's saying crazy stuff. Like he doesn't care about the traditions of politics and the fakeness of politics. He just blurts things out. The things he blurts out appear to be true, but they're not actually true. So
you interviewed Rand Paul?
No, I just ran into him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, please. Okay. Anyway, so given that, they've got to go to a whole new strategy. And this is a little controversial, but here's my summary of what Hillary Clinton's new strategy should be. Be a dick. So here's what I mean by that. Apparently, they're worried that if people find out what Hillary Clinton's real personality is, they won't like it. It's too harsh, it's too mean, it's too controlling. So she puts on the fake smile and goes out there like, oh, everything's okay. And look, and I don't care about this and I don't care about that. And let me tell you, like the fake earnest thing isn't working at all. Just give me whoever you are. Because whatever you're worried people are going to find out about you, that real self can't possibly be worse than your fake self. So even if it's got warts, even if it's got trouble, even if I don't know what you are, because nobody knows what you are. If you're mean, you're a dick, whatever it is, then be that. Be that. Because it's better than this fake front that you're putting out. You got to change strategy. You only have 2 months left. He's closing in. You've got to give people something to hang on to. They don't want to hang on to your fake self.
Yeah.
And maybe you come out and say, yeah, I'm a tough son of a bitch, like Bernie Mac used to do, right? Come and get some. I'm going to protect you. This guy doesn't know how to bring jobs back. He's a moron. I have a plan for jobs. Here's the jobs we're going to get back. Don't trust your fate and our republic to this moron. Give me something that's real.
It's an interesting theory. I'm curious to see if it ever plays out that way, whether or not it would work. But my guess is because of modern day gender dynamics, people are going to be turned off to that. They will. They will.
You got to give them what you got. They're too worried about everything. Anna, they're also too worried about the gender dynamics and how everything appears. Stop worrying about how things appear. You know why? Because that's making you appear fake, which is the absolute worst thing that you could appear to be.
Yeah, look, you know me. Like, I would, if she came out and she's like, screw this fakeness, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and everyone else can just whatever, right? I would really, really appreciate and like that, because that's something that I would actually, relate to. I don't know. I think that she's just afraid of what would happen to her.
Well, I've played a lot of sports in my life. If you're out there on the battlefield and you're afraid, you're going to lose. It happens 9 out of 10 times. Even if you're up against a clown monster like Donald Trump, that attitude will lead to failure every time. You have got to shed that fear. Get out there and be whoever you are, Hillary Clinton, because it isn't this person. And besides which, even if it is this person, if you're naturally super fake, oh boy, people don't like that. So you've got to change it up. Give me anything authentic, because if you don't, you're risking our republic. You're going to let a monster like Trump win because you can't figure out that you've got to stop being so damn fake. Everybody hates it. At the Young Turks, we believe in change. We believe we can change the media, make it more independent. Come do it with us. tytnetwork.com/join.